We're here in 6.2 and we're going to talk about negative exponents. And this is the letter b, well, the variable b, and it's raised to a negative n. That's the same thing as 1 over b to the n. Basically, it's the inverse. So if we have 2 to the negative 3, we could just write this as 1 over 2 to the cube. That's what this negative right here is telling us, that it needs to go. I kind of jokingly say it goes to the next floor. So here, for instance, this is, I'm out of order. Let me go over here to 2, sorry. This is telling us we have negative 3 raised to the negative 4. So that means everything in the parentheses needs to be moved to the denominator. That'd be negative 3, and it'd be to the 4th power over the 1. This negative exponent is what's telling you to move it to the denominator. Then we can rewrite this and simplify it, and it is 1 to the negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, or negative 3 to the 4th, which would be 1 over 81. Okay? Number 3 here, this one differs from this one because notice this has a parentheses, this does not have a parentheses. So the only thing that's being affected by this negative 2 is a 5. So this would be negative 1 over 5 squared, or just negative 1 over 25. It would have to have a parentheses around that negative to be affected by the negative 2, just like when we have positive exponents. Now moving down here to negative 4, or number 4, we have 1 over 6 to the negative 2. As I was using the example up here, the negative sign says it's unhappy on that floor, so we can move it to the other floor. So to make this a positive exponent, it would just be the flip of it, which would be 6 squared, which would just be 36, would be the answer. So instead of this being 1 over 6 to the negative 2, it's 6 squared over 1. Here, what is being affected by the negative 3? Just the x. Remember, it has to be in the parentheses to include anything out there. So this would be 5 over x cubed is how we'd simplify that. And the last but not least here, we have 1/3, and all of it's raised to the negative 2 power. And if we remember from the last video, when we had this negative 2, you could pass it out to each one inside here. So this would be like 1 over negative 1 to the negative 2 and 3 to the negative 2, which means we need to flip both of these. So it's 3 squared over 1 squared, which is just 9. So you don't have to go through all this. When you see that you have this exponent out here, all this to the negative 2, you can flip it and put them to the positive powers. So we could have just wrote this as 3 over 1 quantity squared. That's what the negative tells us to do, is to flip get the reciprocal. All right, have fun with that one. I'll see you at 6.3.